Welcome to This Week in Health IT News, where we take a look at the news which will impact health IT. This is another field report where we talk with leaders from health systems and organizations on the front lines. My name is Bill Russell, healthcare CIO coach and creator of This Week in Health IT, a set of podcasts, videos, and collaboration events dedicated to developing the next generation of health leaders. Are you ready for this? We're going to do something a little different for our Tuesday Newsday show next week. We're going to go live at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We will be live on our YouTube channel with myself, Drexta Ford, Sue Shade, and David Muntz with Starbridge Advisors to discuss the new normal for health IT. With you supplying the questions with live chat. Also, you can send in your questions ahead of time at hello@thisweekinhealthit.com. I'm so excited to do this, and I hope you will join us. Mark your calendar, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on April 28th. If you want to send the questions, feel free to do that. And you can get to the show by going to thisweekhealth.com/live. This episode and every episode since we started the COVID-19 series has been sponsored by Sirius Healthcare. They reached out to me to see how we might partner during this time, and that is how we've been able to support producing daily shows. Special thanks to Sirius for supporting the show's efforts during the crisis. Now, on to today's show. Today's conversation is with Patrick Anderson, CIO at City of Hope in Los Angeles. Good morning, Patrick, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bill. Glad to be here.
Is City of Hope, is it specifically in LA, or it's on the outskirts of LA, right?
Yes, we're on the east side of Los Angeles in a town called Duarte, and then we also have a big administrative campus in a nearby city next to Duarte on the other side of the freeway. But we have two campuses basically, and then we're building out a campus in Irvine in Orange County as well.
Yeah, I saw that announcement. That's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that being built out. Although I'm not in Orange County anymore, I'm in Florida, but I know that there was such a great need for cancer treatment in that market. So it's exciting to see that project moving forward.
Great.
So the thing I love in talking with you is that we get very pragmatic very quickly. And what I wanted to do was just hear about some of the things that you and your team at City of Hope have been stood up since the start of the pandemic.
Right. Well, there's basically one emergency project after another for IT to jump in and assist with all of the COVID planning and then all the operations work. Primarily, some of our initial work, Bill, was around how are we going to assess the temperature of all of the employees and the patients that are coming in and the visitors to try to identify potential symptomatic COVID patients. We tried to use handheld temperature monitoring tools, and they were breaking down. They're just not designed for that type of volume. We did an evaluation with FLIR Cameras, and they looked very interesting. And we were able to create a workflow at 6 different entrances into our ambulatory clinics and our hospital to monitor everybody that's coming in. And we were able to identify any patients over 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. And then we were able to isolate them and work with them to determine the appropriate next steps. So that was a big deal. And getting those
that's really interesting. So help me to understand that a little bit more. So the FLIR cameras are like mounted on the wall and monitoring people as they're walking through?
No, because of some of the state regulations, we couldn't mount anything. So we put them on tripods. And then we were monitoring all of the entering traffic. So we were able to identify the patients, visitors, and even employees, and segregate them, and then do a manual temperature of them, under the tongue and so forth, to identify potential issues. So that was a big success. The nurses loved it, and it was terrific. Some of the other interesting things we're doing is we built out a drive-through COVID testing capability with pre-registration, and I think our quality officer said, "Man, this is working like butter." They really love the workflows that we built out in Epic and the ability for us to to do the drive-through COVID testing. And we actually built that in the middle of a parking lot, and we were able to extend connectivity out there with our infrastructure group, and then our applications team were able to make some emergency changes to Epic and bring that up online pretty well. So that was just a marvelous work between clinical leadership, our applications group, and our infrastructure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I assume that the network, was that done wirelessly, or did you have something more more permanent in place?
Yeah, we created a wireless capability out there with some devices that we had to run power out there, but after we were able to run the power, we were able to bring up some wireless devices and connect to our enterprise wireless infrastructure.
Did you end up having the medical record out there? Did you have access to the medical record, or did you not need? Oh, you did. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic. I assume everybody. I appreciate you not starting with these two things, and everybody's talked about them. But I'm curious how you guys did. Work from home, telemedicine. Talk a little bit about those initiatives and how you stood them up pretty rapidly.
That was a massive effort, Bill. We literally shut down dozens and dozens of buildings. We have pretty extensive research capability at City of Hope, and to shut down or reduce laboratories across dozens and dozens of buildings and thousands of employees, it was very, very challenging. We had to set up multiple Genius bars. We had to work with human resources and all of their partners and literally go across the enterprise and prioritize who's going to be moving off campus and how are we going to do that with education and guidelines and so forth. So we ran these Genius bars around the clock. Dell is a strategic partner of ours, and we were able to obtain hundreds and hundreds of laptops, and we were able to move a lot of people home that already were mobile. And with that, over a 4-week period, we moved over 3,000 people home and shut down most of the campus that was not patient-facing. So it was very exciting. We ran 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for 30 days, and were able to accomplish it. It was quite a feat.
I appreciated your email I sent you early on. Hey, Patrick, any chance you could come on the show? You're like, I'm a little busy right now. And I was like, yeah, I guess you were. So talk about telemedicine. What's interesting about your work from home is you really moved a research facility into a work from home environment. So that's a little distinct from what we've heard from some of the other guests. Are there special applications, special workflow, or those kind of things for standing up research being done at home?
Our researchers already work on an international basis, Bill. They work around the world, around the clock, and they're constantly on the road. We're constantly supporting our research leadership and our researchers at conferences and doing collaborative work all around the world. So they were already very mobile. It was really following research leadership and the work they wanted to do to slow down or even shut down some laboratories. Many laboratories still could not be shut down. And obviously they're also shifting a lot of work on COVID research and vaccine development. We do a lot of drug development here at City of Hope as well. So it was literally a shift of priorities, as well as helping and ensuring that we follow the research leadership path on making sure everything can continue with a partial on-campus, off-campus workforce.
Wow. Talk a little bit about telemedicine. So I assume you stood that up. Where'd you come from, and where'd you end up at the peak?
At the beginning of this COVID process or event, we were. By the way, our standard is American Well. They're a partner with us, and that's our telehealth telemedicine platform. We were basically doing second opinions and helping large employers with their with their patients and their families going through, cancer situations. We weren't really doing telehealth yet directly with our own patients and so forth. But once this hit, and obviously we wanted to have our physicians work from home in the ambulatory space and literally have the entire workforce try to work from home. So we stood up American Well for video and telephonic visits in a matter of a couple weeks, and we're up to in excess of 300 clinic visits a day on the American Well platform. We haven't done the integration with Epic yet on the charting, where a physician has the American Well application and the Epic application side by side, so they can chart and take care of the patient. It's literally 2 sessions, but we're working. We'll probably be another month or 2 before we have that ran up. But it was really a 6 to 9 month project that we had just started the conceptual work on before COVID hit, and then we literally did 9 months of that work and stood it up in a matter of 3 weeks. So it was pretty phenomenal, heroic work.
So do you think that's going to be the new expectation on AlphaT? The next time we're sitting in a meeting and we're going, yeah, that looks like it's, probably an 18-month project. Somebody's going to say, okay, do it in 3 weeks.
Gosh, I hope not, Bill, because, we've been working nights and weekends to make all of these things work. And it's a little challenging to work that way. We like to do a lot more testing. We like to do a lot of test environment build. And sometimes it's good to aim before you shoot, right? So so hopefully we can get back from a systems development perspective, get back to norm. But I think the future is definitely going to demand more telehealth and more and other types of virtual work for sure.
Yeah, I know you were doing a lot of platform work prior to this. I mean, your run rate stuff, you were really focusing in on platforms and modernizing the infrastructure and whatnot. How did that play out during the crisis?
Nothing is ever delivered fast enough in our world, unfortunately. We're rebuilding everything. We're upgrading, our ERP. We're literally optimizing our Epic across revenue cycle as well as clinical, all new workflows, all new capabilities. Our infrastructure, everything is being upgraded, from data center modernization to complete infrastructure. We were just about ready to launch our voice over IP and roll that out to some of our new buildings. We have many construction projects happening right now, and being able to leverage a lot of that development work is good, but it literally had to shift all of our priorities, which is very challenging. We're going to continue our pace with many of the large foundational infrastructure projects, but again, shifting everybody to the COVID work has really slowed everything else down.
So last question, because I know you have to get back, and I appreciate your time, but how do we come down off this mountain? I mean, as you said, we're working 7 days a week. We're doing just incredible things. There's a sense in which you got to the top of the mountain. We should, take the group photo, pat each other on the back, and say, look, we got to the top of the mountain. But at some point, we're going to start descending back to a new normal. How do you do that effectively?
Well, I have to tell you, Bill, I think that work is going to be different going forward. We're looking at maybe reducing how many people come back, and maybe allow more and more people to telecommute, maybe full time, maybe share cubicles, have managers share offices. We're working through all of that right now. Some areas are actually outperforming their work prior to COVID because they don't have to commute and so forth. And where we have good KPIs, I think we have to take a strong look at maybe reinforcing a much more aggressive telecommuting posture within our organization.
Yeah. Well, Patrick, thanks for your time. And by the way, I really like your home office. It is really nice.
I tell you, hunkering down up in Big Bear Lake is a great, safe place to be in my cabin up here. So I'm very happy to to be away from the city, but it's still pretty long hours up here at Big Bear.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's I love that cabin feel. Love what's going on. Patrick, again, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Take care, Bill. It's good to see you again.
That's all for this week. Special thanks to our sponsors, VMware, Starbridge Advisors, Galen Healthcare, Health Lyrics, Sirius Healthcare, and ProTalent Advisors for choosing to invest in developing the next generation of health leaders. If you want to support the fastest growing podcast in the health IT space, the best way to do that is to share it with a peer. Send them an email, DM them, whatever you do, however you do it. Go ahead and do that, and that would benefit us greatly. We appreciate your support. Please check back often as we will continue to drop shows until we get through this pandemic together. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.